Hello, everyone, and welcome back to You Have to Wear Something. It's a lovely Thursday evening, and you probably heard my mini rant about Meghan. With Love, Meghan, the new cooking, hosting, everything lifestyle show with the Duchess of Sussex. And, after a few text messages, I had to come back on the show. Danee is let me get it right, FX VFX
Mhm.
producer,
Yep.
writer, Uno champion, spade, skilled spade player, and all around thought leader here in Los Angeles. Welcome back to the show, Danae.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, tell us about this lip moment.
Well, I thought I would get into a little bit of glam, but I was um, kind of rushing. So, having a bright color always helps. You
Oh,
see, I
yeah.
brought the attention right to the mouth, and then you don't look at anything else.
No, very chic. It's giving New York. I know you used to live there. So, yeah, listen, you know how to add that glam in a moment's notice, and I love it.
Thank you.
Yes. So, after a couple of back and forths, we say, you know what, let's just have a real discussion for the people, especially in this climate. There's so many things going on with the reactions to Megan's show. There's a vibe around Black people, Black women, this administration, some intersectionality, what's going on with Black and Brown folks. ICE is doing deportations. And I feel like all of those things matter.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
Um,
weird. It's a weird time.
it is a very weird time, and we're feeling all the things, which is why I've been watching the show. Us as the 92%, we know we did our jobs, and we've been leaning into resting more. Is that safe to say? What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've been sitting back eating popcorn and just watching it all play out.
Yeah, yeah. So, the show is not what you normally see from a Black woman or even a biracial woman in America, right? The style of the show is usually reserved for a certain type of woman, usually a white woman. Even though some of us grew up on B. Smith, I'm showing my age a little bit, but listen. If you are a HGTV girly, uh, a barefoot Contessa, Goop, I forgot the name of Pamela's new show, and so on and so forth, right? Martha Stewart. Talk about monotone, boring speaking. I fell asleep many a times to my mom watching Martha Stewart. So I know everyone says like she's funny, and I'm like, she's sassy. I don't know, there's a difference, but yes, her sassiness is, and her perfectionism is very entertaining, right? So, first I saw the reactions and it was pretty bad. Lots of people, Black and white and everyone in between, men, women, jumping on Megan on TikTok saying, doing spoofs, basically, every 5 seconds on with Love Megan, and then like taking pretzels out of a package and putting them in another bag and putting a bow on it and then writing on it. Um, and I was like, damn, like she's just repackaging snacks. Like, what the fuck? Like, that don't make no sense. There's nothing special about that. I'm like, I need to see what the hoopla is all about. And then when I watched it, I was like, wait a minute. Very first episode, doing so many things that I don't know how to do. And not lazy, like working hard. And it also shows that people don't know much about Megan, which I think is another reason why she's doing the show, is because y'all don't know her like that. Y'all don't know about the TIG, that she had a lifestyle blog. You don't care. You only cared about her once she started dating Harry. And I also hate that she had this whole life, a marriage, a divorce, an acting career, even advocacy, philanthropy, all of that before the show. She had a whole life. And then, like, I guess Harry gave her life more meaning. I know her life was elevated and thrown for a loop after becoming a royal. But anyway, yeah, I just was like, wait a minute, there's more to this. Maybe folks are being unfair. And the more I watched, the more I got upset about these reactions. So I know you listened to my mini rant about it, Danae. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I first of all, I think you're so spot on in the pod that you dropped. I do think this is an extension of TIG. I never went on that website, but as she's explaining, she integrates the TIG into the show, and it totally is picking up from the TIG and just bringing it onto TV. I never really watched like the Martha Stewarts or any of those shows. And honestly, like I just have a thing for Meghan as a person, and so that's what interested me in watching it. And at first I was like, I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand what she was doing. But by episode 3 pulled me all the way in. And I have to say, like, Roy Choi was falling in love with her, and so was I. It was just so fascinating. Like, she really is passionate about all of these things, and even though it's not necessarily like a how to cook show, like she does tell you the ingredients, it is more of like a lifestyle series. But it's amazing. Like now I kind of want to bake a cake and get my floral game up and wear cute outfits.
And you know what really struck me? I was like, wait, hold on. Who can cook this much with this, like, with such ease and white and cream and Laurel Piana? And like, she's wearing white a lot.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, damn, girl, because that means she has a comfort and a confidence in knowing what she's doing. I'm by the time I'm done with proteins, like I do okay in the kitchen. But by the time I get to the dessert part, I'm like, crack that ice cream open. I don't want to cook nothing. I don't want to bake nothing. And when I think about OG cooks like grandma, mom, going way back, ancestors, whatever, they made everything, right? So knowing how to cook and knowing how to make all the courses is something to see. And it was so many things that she did that I was like, some of this is hard work, but she's so chill about it, making it look
So
easy.
chill. So
So
seamless.
it's too chill for folks. They're like, is she high? Is she on mushrooms? Like, I think that's just her vibe. That's very LA, quintessentially LA. She's so LA, so chill, um, and working hard as hell. That chicken, I don't want to do that recipe. Like, I love a little fried chicken moment. Not all the time, but you get a craving for it. It's like cultural. I'm like, damn, the milk and the spices and the making the kimchi. It was a lot. It was a lot. And so people making it seem like she's not doing anything was completely unfair. And there's criticism from everyone, not just like white women. We'll get into them in a second because we're gonna get into them. Black women feeling like, I read that she wears her race on her shoulders like a shawl. I'm like, I don't, I, how all types of Black people matter. And she doesn't have to put on a show of Blackness, right? Like, it doesn't have to be overtly performative. Like, y'all, I'm Black. We know who her mother is. We saw her at the wedding. We know she was raised almost solely by her mother, a single mom. And like, her mama black, her mama has locks, her mama has a nose ring, like her mom is bohemian. And that plays into like the garden and making your own bath salts and all of that. Like, I really love it. And I'm like, again, we hate her, but like the royals been on bullshit for like
That's
centuries.
what I'm saying. Seriously. Seriously. I think that's one of the reasons why I became interested in her is the fact that Harry was dating somebody that was Black. And that already in itself is an uproar in the royal family. And the fact that he stood by her and said, fuck it, they're bullying you, they're bullying us, they're bullying our family, we're moving to LA. Who does that? Who does that?
So bold. I was like, almost sit beside him. I'm like, this is the most interesting story about royals since Princess Diana, in
I
my
agree.
opinion. Like, and also because she was kind of like, I'm gonna go and visit babies with HIV and hold them and hug them. And like that was like crazy, or walk over through a minefield, you know? And so because I think when you have a purpose and your job is supposed to be upholding the crown, there's a conflict there because the crown, they had over 100 plus colonies, many in Africa and
Yeah.
Caribbean,
Yep.
India, and no one seems really angry about that. No one's angry about the colonization. No one's angry about a couple of them being Nazis. No one's angry about the incest. So many things. And no one's angry about most of them don't do anything. And they're expensive. She had a whole ship, the queen, and lost her mind when they wanted her to give it up. Like they were using, the UK's money, like the people's money, so that she could like sail around the world on her own ship. Like, what are you talking about right now? I didn't like the lazy thing. I don't know why. It's like when people say, "Oh, you speak white." Like I don't, intelligence is not a like only a white trait, right? So I don't know how black she is supposed to be, but I really do think she's being herself, and I think she's, especially after that experience in the UK, I think she knows that she's black.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. She definitely is black. Like you said, we've seen her mom. But more than that, I hate to be repetitive because everybody says this, but Black people are not a monolith. Like, we all have a different experience. We all walk a different life. Like, she's from View Park. View Park is one of the blackest areas in Los Angeles. For anybody that doesn't know, like it's around the Crenshaw area, and that's where she grew up in LA.
Mhm.
And it's just interesting because she really, I felt like in the show there's like a layer of like perfectionism that is being shown, but even within that did feel genuine to me because she really does know about gardening and what good food is and what good flowers are. Like, she really genuinely knows. You can tell she's passionate about it. I felt it in her eyes. I felt it in the way that she was speaking about stuff. And that, I was like, wow, I aspire. Like, come on. If anything, she really is holding a crown and being the example that I would want to see from a royal family. Like,
Yeah, I just think like, God, some of the criticisms are so silly. Like I thought she wanted her privacy. She doesn't want to die the way Diana died, right? They already had like a paparazzi chase on American soil. Those people were they were being stalked, right? And that's not her real house. And it's like all those shows are filmed in a studio. Not one person said that's not Martha Stewart's real house. Ina Garten's Real House, B. Smith, etc. And now with Pamela Anderson, now them trying to say that she stole the idea from Pamela Anderson is wild to me because Pam has reinvented herself, honey. I'm old enough to remember. Do you watch?
Pam is a completely different person. I'm so here for it. I love Pam Anderson. I'm so here for it. But this idea is not new. This idea is definitely not new. It's just a younger generation of ladies that are taking over and reinventing the wheel.
And God forbid it be diverse. Like Megan, she's pretty light, but I know I know laid edges when I see them.
Okay.
She's got a little toothbrush, like I know she will put right before they start filming. She got her scarf on. Those they're curling up. Okay, I know. Apparently, she has some. I haven't looked at it yet, but she has a website with all the things that she uses, and there's like they've already found like a couple of things on like edge cream and I love that she's just so quiet. She's like, well, duh. Like you thought I wasn't?
Yeah.
Which also to perform. I think it sucks, but I do think that like white audiences do want a lot of personality from black people. I've even had it. You may have been in a group where they've kind of wanted you to perform for them. I don't know if you've ever felt that pressure in a predominantly white space, maybe at work or something like that. And they want you to be funny, or they want to be like, they want some sass, or they want you to be like, girl, okay. Or I've had a white woman kind of give that to me and then hoping for that in response at work. And I'm like, I'm just at work
No.
and we are not girls.
Yeah.
I was to say, I once told a woman, I was like, girl, like we had just met. I said, girl is short for girlfriend. And we're not girlfriends. Like you just can't jump over like the history and the origin of things and then just go, you know what I mean? Like guys, now everyone you'll know like men do that handshake and then the hug.
Yes.
It's a global male greeting now. And like nobody wants to know where that came from. Nobody cares that it was a black guy thing. Like it's just interesting to me. But yeah, no, Megan, the complaints about it are very, very weird. And then, being adjacent to design at Blue Dot, I I always think about these like bougie spaces, right? Of art and design and interior design and how they overlap in real estate. And, unfortunately, racism, white supremacy is flowing through everything, every industry, every culture, right? So, checks notes. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about what I was learning from Megan from the show and what that means, right? So, like, 2% of all interior designers are Black women. 2%. That is like horrible, right? Especially when you think about how educated Black women are, who
Yeah.
are getting the degrees in this country, right? There should be no 2% of Black women in no industry with the amount of education, the amount of degrees we're achieving, right? So meritocracy, my ass. Event planners, only 3% are Black women. You know, Now we know damn well that Black women make it happen, put it together, that baby shower, that wedding, that cake, baking, even just a catering company, if you think about that. Like Black women constantly put their foot in food. They're making it happen. It's delicious, but I don't know, something's going on there with the event planning. Um, and then I was thinking about where she lives, right? Because they're talking about how all her friends are white and all that other kind of stuff. And, you know, her friends are her friends. 1.3% of homeowners in her area are Black, less than 2%. So I wouldn't, if I were her, I would I have my loud music. I'll be playing Kendrick Lamar as loud as I possibly can on those grounds in Santa Barbara, Montecito, or wherever she is,
Mhm.
knowing that less than 2%. And the thing that white people don't understand, you should be angry about that.
Yeah.
You should be angry that only 2% of interior designers are Black women. You should be mad that only 3% of event planners are Black women because you know damn well we can plan events. You should be mad that only less than 2% of that entire neighborhood she lives in, she's literally integrating the neighborhood in 2025, which is a disgrace. They shouldn't be saying shit about Megan when well, she would like to have Black friends at her level. This is very intentional. This is redlining. When you see an all white neighborhood, that is not by accident. That is on purpose. This is very intentional racism, intentional redlining, intentional whitewashing, whatever you want to call it, white supremacy at work at all times. Literally, it's in everything and it sucks. Um, so people need to be quiet and let her cook. Literally, let her cook.
Literally let her cook.
I was trying to think. how is she harming people? Like, what harm has she done? I was, uh I was privy to a conversation, and maybe there was, like, some white people, some white adjacent people, and they were all riffing off of each other about, "Have you watched it? Oh my god, it's so fucking boring. Oh, I hate her so much. Fucking hate her." And I'm sitting and I'm like, God, I'm just sitting there with my black ass face. And I'm just listening. Yeah, I fucking hate her too. Oh, I fucking hate her so much. Oh my gosh, she's so fucking boring. It's like she's trying not to be human. I mean, riffing off each other, just hating on her. And I'm like, I do not understand. And I think maybe people are followers. Maybe it's more subconscious, it's ingrained. This has happened with other artists too. Like I've been in conversations where it's like, it's either like Oprah or like I hate Beyonce or I don't think white people realize that this is a microaggression to sit there in a black woman's face and then like talk shit about black people. It's very simple. It's like, maybe read the room, maybe wait. I don't know. It's something about it that just feels off to me. And like I said, she wouldn't even have a show had the crown not fumbled her, right? She did her best to assimilate, to curtsy, to wear hats, to fit into the culture, to do her job, to kiss babies and shake hands. And she was killing it. She was killing it.
She was. Yeah, she was.
It was like, wait a minute, do we have another people's princess? They shut that down real quick. And no, her baby's not gonna be dark. I mean, God, she had 2 gingers. How brown are they supposed to be?
Lilibet. I want to see the little girl.
I do they always show the back of them, it's just that red hair.
Yeah, so cute.
Do they, are they in the show later? Because I think I'm about 5 episodes in.
No,
Did
they're
you finish it?
I did, yeah. I actually watched it like one full time and then like a half time. So I went through
Oh,
about 5 other episodes to get some notes together.
do you think that Black joy is resistance?
Yes, only because Black Joy pisses off white people and other people, but specifically white people. White people don't want to see us happy.
Yes, they wanna see us resisting in the streets. And yeah, and I was thinking about too the role being reserved for white women, right? Like in movies and culture, in folklore, you watch a movie and when the commoner becomes a princess or a queen, it usually doesn't look like Meghan,
No.
right? And or any even a fictional character like the Little Mermaid. It made me think of that too. All of the hate that
Chloe
Halle
Bailey.
Bailey,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yes.
and how like everyone was adamant, like Ariel is white. This is from a white story, and this needs to be a white actress, and it's just like it's fake. Similar to Star Wars, similar to what I think his name is John Boyega went through with Star Wars. Like these are reserved for us, even in the fake world. Like you could believe in dinosaurs and androids and the Death Star, but they just black people don't belong even in these fake worlds.
Yeah, because heaven
Like,
forbid,
yeah,
heaven forbid you reimagine Ariel and what she looks like. Heaven forbid you think about what would happen if Harry married a black woman instead of a white British lady. Like that people can't even compute that in their head. That doesn't even make sense to them.
yeah. And she checks just all of the boxes, which is also considered like Eurocentric beauty. She's thin, right? This is not a BBL black woman. This is like a thin, fair, Euro faced woman. And it's just like they're so angry. I remember watching some clip about some newscasters discussing how Kate Middleton has the perfect face and how it's a face that everyone wants, and I was like, and there were black journalists on the couch, like, visibly screwing up their face, like, "Who wants that face?" Like, not everybody wants to look like Kate Middleton, absolutely fucking not, like, I don't wanna look like her. Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely good on
the
Kate Middleton.
measurements from her nose to her ear and just like it was giving eugenics, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah.
Nobody wants.
I also think that Kate is also upset, like, because of all the attention that Harry and Meghan have gotten. It kind of takes away from her and what's the other William? Is that the brother? Yeah, I feel like it took away a lot of attention from them and what they
Mhm.
had going on, which is, I mean, sorry, add some spice to your life.
Not much. I know she had a cancer scare and that kinda, like,
She did.
brought some attention, we don't wish that on anyone, but, if he just kinda, like, cut it lower, like, just a just a little lower, it's it's bad, it's Tiger Woods bad. Like,
Oof.
there's just a island back there, like, just
Just
I
let
don't
it
know
go.
why. Just let it go,
Let it
just let it
go.
go.
Let it go.
'Cause, I mean, he used to be, like, the hot one, apparently, and that the tables have turned there. It used to be William getting, all of the attention back in the day. The women were girls were passing out, and it wasn't about Harry at all, and now it seems to be reversed because attraction, him even pulling that little ponytail out of her jacket and just the little things he does, that's, like, the real sexiness in a man of how he caters and cherishes, like, his woman. I mean, I'm sure William and Kate are very, like, in love, but, like, it feels those royal couples always feel cold.
Yeah, yeah. It feels I want to say arranged marriage, not arranged, but it feels very calculated. It feels very, like, because you have to step into this like perfect world of being a royal and you have to like do all of these things, which is what Meghan tried to do and got scrutinized for every single move that she made. And she said, I'm going to take my happy ass back to LA and go do my perfect life over here.
Yeah, and she's at a level, it's like, I don't know what they thought she was coming back to America to do. She can't get, like, a regular schmegular job.
Nine to
Like, she's
five. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that because I was looking this up because I knew that they inked a big Netflix deal, which is why I
Mhm.
imagine that she also has this show. They had the Meghan and Harry docu-series. Did you watch that?
I
Yeah.
did watch that, and I think it kinda they did a really good job of connecting, like, the issue of her race
Hmm.
to them being colonizers, and them having this opportunity to turn that image around, with an actual Black woman so that these, whatever is left of their colonizing people could see themselves in at least Megan and make the best of it, right? But they were conquering like a ton of like Black places, and yeah, I mean, it's some funky stuff if you watch The Crown, and not I know everything in The Crown isn't accurate, but it's adjacent, it's close.
That's what I've
Uh,
heard. I've never seen it, but
yeah.
that's what I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it sugarcoats like any part of it. It's a really interesting series, and I think everyone really acted like their butt off in it. It's really cool, and I think well researched. But yeah, if you look at the history, like they really had an opportunity to rebrand The Crown and it not be so stale and boring, and honestly, just I don't know. I think things being completely white and wealthy and exclusive. I know we're in a place right now where we're under oligarchs, right? And America is doing their Gilded Age all over again, and you know it's going to backfire the same way it did at the turn of the century, the turn of the 19th century. It's going to backfire, but I don't know who told me this, but like a successful portfolio is always diverse. You never put all your chips on one stock, right? So we gonna learn the hard way again. I don't know why we have to keep learning the hard way, but I guess we haven't had like war on the soil in a really long time, and people are maybe nostalgic for that. But yeah, they fumbled Megan at the bottom line. They fumbled her. She was rebranding it in a good way. Like I mentioned, you know, they're talking about her cooking. Someone was saying, oh, the recipes are just so bad. And it's like, okay, well, she created a community cookbook to support, you know, predominantly Black and brown women and families who lost their homes in that big fire, right? So I don't know. I just feel like they don't look at her UN connection. She's been doing philanthropy around voting, around clean water for Rwanda, I believe.
That sounds right.
Just a yeah, a bunch of stuff, right? And I mean, I'm sure that Kate does do that, but I mean, you have to really kind of research it and look for it. I think even at 11, Megan was like, I don't know how I want to be a feminist. I don't know how I want to give back but I'm going to start now. It's always kind of been in her. And that's what I loved about the series when they were showing how she like called out that sexist commercial. I think it was a Dove commercial.
Yeah. Was it Deb? Yes, with the hand washing under the sink.
Yeah.
Yes, and she was what,
11, yeah.
11, which was incredible. Which is, I mean,
Mhm.
that story alone, that is incredible that she wrote them a letter, and because of her letter, they changed that commercial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
She's been doing
you know,
this.
she didn't know at 11 she was going to be a royal, you know, it kind of, you know, and then the she always talks about the Little Red Schoolhouse, which I commute through LA and I pass it all the time, and it's like this tiny school, you know, in Hollywood. I mean, on that corner right there, I think it's like Fountain and Highland or something. Like it is it's like an Arco there. Fat Sal's is right there, burned down next to a AutoZone. You know, it's nothing posh about it. But she talks about that science teacher so thoughtfully that like taught her about how to like grow plants
Yep.
and you know grow flowers and taught her what they are. Because I mean, her plant knowledge, like the flowers, I was like, wait, I didn't know that that was dogwood. I love flowers. You know, my favorite flower is uh protea. Like I love the way proteas look, but like I always learn something too. Every episode I was trying to like do my critique and see like what I could like poke her about. I am always learning shit.
Same. Same.
I'm like, I'm just learning stuff. She's teaching. If we're in our soft era, if the 92% are in their soft era, she's like the standard of the soft era. Oh, and I know there's other women living similarly, but like she doesn't even have to jump around and sing and stuff like Beyonce. Like she is like she gets up and can casually walk to that garden and do that, you know, without going on tour and all that kind of stuff.
And that garden, her garden is unreal. I think the only other garden that is so bomb is Oprah's. Like,
Oh yeah, goes out and get her like joyful greens and all that. I'm like, that is the flex. Trust me, with these prices and what's going to happen with these farms, having your own garden, being able to go out and get herbs and
the
all that,
chickens, her eggs.
eggs, yeah, Archie's eggs, like
Yep.
that's the real flex. That's gonna be the real luxury of like, oh, I just went to the backyard and grabbed it. Oh, I'm just making a few. I mean, people who want to give back to their friends and also like treat them like I do that too. Like when I have like a little order, like from Shop GU, shameless plug, go to
Yes.
Shop JIYU. I like do a little. I take like mud cloth, like African mud cloth, like a square of it, and I wrap sage and maybe dried lavender and like little Palo Santo, and then I tie it. And I, with every like order that goes into the box, and then people get in there like, oh, and a handwritten note. And everyone's like, oh, it's so extra, or you should sell it. And I'm like, no, you just have to give. And it's just like my little, like, I'm a small business. It's what you can do. I'm not Amazon. I don't want to be anything like big box. I want my personal touch on everything. And I wish I had handwriting like Megan, you
Oh
know?
my gosh, her handwriting is so beautiful. When she was making those menus, her handwriting is so beautiful.
It's stunning. And, she learned at the paper stores, when she was working, guys, when she had a job, paper stores is like a very regular ass job. And I think she's taken I love the way she's taken every experience she's
Yep,
had and like elevated it. Like
yep,
she worked at the paper. And listen, calligraphy, are you kidding me? Calligraphy for like weddings and events, that's a big business. That's an
yes, it
amazing
is.
skill to have. People don't sit at home practicing their penmanship anymore. That's I'm like back in the day shit, like we have TVs now and phones. Like we're not practicing our penmanship. So her handwriting is so gorgeous. So people like mocking her, they're mocking her like writing on stuff. And I'm like, yes, penmanship is an art form.
But it's like, let
But
me see you do that. Let me see you do that and then talk because you
I just
can't.
right, like, and it just makes people upset, or like I guess her giggle. I mean, they said thing about Kamala, like they don't like her laugh. They also don't like Megan's laugh. There's supposed to be like a pattern here of when black women laugh. They don't like the little us giggling in the kitchen. Like that's a no go. No, don't do that. Don't be joyful. So it's unreal. And right, lately they've been saying that she has this feud with Gwyneth, and I love they just made a video um showing them like eating pie together in the kitchen, and Gwyneth is basically saying, I don't know what they're talking about, and then they pan to Megan eating pie, and she's like, I don't know either. And it's ridiculous.
It's funny because I haven't really heard any bad things on social media. I mean, I don't have, I guess, social media like that to access. But I did go on Reddit. I was trying to see what the criticisms were, and everyone on Reddit was very supportive of the show. So I thought everybody kind of liked the show. I didn't realize how much hate was coming for Megan. I mean,
No,
I'm
so
not
much.
surprised. I'm not surprised, but I am shocked because I feel inspired.
Oh my God, yeah. I feel so inspired. I feel like in a time of like, whatever is expected of us, whatever like stereotype, right? Like it's just very refreshing. And she's holding space for herself unapologetically and doing her thing. And like, I want to make a little quick meal with my girlfriends in a dress and go to the garden and sit down and eat it with my dog. Like, I want to do, I'm like, when I think about like, man, how long am I going to be working? Like, I would love to just do that.
I know.
You and I think there's a lot of jealousy and envy, but it's sometimes when it gets like vitriol, it's like very confusing. It is and it isn't, in this country. But again, in the UK, all of the tabloids have been dragging her. I mean, they're still dragging her even though she's not there anymore, and that makes sense because she left. And I was like, you didn't want her, now you're mad she left. Like, which one do you want? But yeah, I think we're supposed to be in the Bad Girls Club or like throwing wine at each other on the Housewives show. And this is just confusing. Like, wait, where is the drama?
Yeah.
Where are the problems? Where's the dysfunction? Bring on the dysfunction. That's how I like to see the Black ladies dysfunctional, and like, I don't know. I feel like most of the time, I think we have a good practice of sisterhood and community for the most part, right? You know, very loyal and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. They need to get over it. They need to let
To
it go.
ask you, what was your favorite episode?
Well, right now it's like you said, I do love the Roy Choi
Yes.
because they're both from
Yep.
LA. They're both people of color. And I feel like they've had nonlinear you know, career choices, career paths. Megan has lived many places. They don't people don't even realize I think she was did an ambassadorship internship overseas, and she I love that she was like trying stuff here and there. Like, I know I want to be this, like a stateswoman. I think she, like, at her heart wanted to be like this stateswoman, but didn't quite know what the avenue. And I think she manifested that out of thin air. And I think Roy, being a self-taught chef, also manifested what was calling him all the time inside. You know what I mean? But the part when they're like LA kids and they're talking about karaoke and dance crews and all of that is authentic as hell. I don't know. I thought it was so cool. And I also thought the things he was making were like difficult and she was keeping up. And I
She
was
was
like, oh,
keeping up. Yep.
I'm like, sauce from scratch. That was the most difficult chicken I've ever seen with the milk. She's like, I have never seen anyone use milk to make
It
chicken.
was the milk and beer.
Beer. Exactly. I've heard of beer batter, but like not in the same way they did it. Like
Yeah.
it was, and it just was like, I remember the first time I saw him cooking, and I think it was with God, he has something, it's called Chef, and he cooks in like a food truck. I'm forgetting now, but there's another like cooking show that Roy Choi has, and he always puts it like in the oven, and I'm always like, how? I never seen anybody put like fried chicken, but like bake it for a little bit. Like that was all always like new to me, but that's definitely his style, you know. And he's owning his culture, and I think Megan is too. And like it was just cool to see American culture, people of color, growing up in LA, all these different stories and cultures like overlap. And those, whatever, they were making difficult stuff. Those sauces, that kimchi, love kimchi, like that shit is hard. Like Asian cooking is one of the most difficult just because the level of ingredients, like the amount of ingredients you have to put in it. And I know some people think it's just like stuff all mixed together, and no, there's a science to it. But yeah, she was in her jeans. He had her sweating. Like she was in her sweating to make that stuff. But that's when I really was like, oh, okay. And I think if people were listening to her and learning about her, like genuinely wanting to learn about her, they would have saw who she really was in a moment. She felt the realest in that episode, and I think
Yes.
that's why it's my favorite. Um, I think I need to keep watching it. What's your favorite episode? Tell me.
No, that definitely is my favorite episode as well because I think my only criticism is the first two episodes you kind of feel like a there's almost like a power dynamic when she's teaching her friends like how to make the candles, how to make the cake, like you can kind of see you can kind of see that she's like running things. But
Mhm.
with Roy Choi, because she respected him so much and she didn't know how to do what they were making, she really let her guard down. And he also, you could tell that he made her feel very comfortable. And she was like open to learning and seeing that power shift was incredible because once they relaxed, they kind of just fell into like it was like a dance that they were doing. And you could see her being a sponge, sucking up all the information that he was like sharing. Like you said, she was keeping up in the kitchen, the prep work. Like even I think he was kind of taken aback, like, oh yeah, like we're fully set up. I loved when they went out to the garden and the way that they were speaking about the food growing and how he's like, I would kill the whole garden. He's like,
Yeah.
my
He
place with
meets me at a certain point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, my place with food is like once it's already picked. But then he's like, I
Mhm.
can feel the energy of the food. I love to share the stories that he was sharing. Um, why they put beer in the batter. She asked the question about MSG and how he
Yeah.
shared that was racism, like just everything. And I don't even eat chicken, but like that episode, but pretty much all the episodes, I was audibly like always going, or like I can smell it. It smells good. This looks good. Like
Mhm.
everything. And the chicken looked so bomb. The kimchi looked amazing. Like I kind of want to do a quick pickle. I think that's what he was
Yeah,
calling it, like a quick pickling.
exactly. I'm like, she's working pretty hard. No, I did love that, and the moment of the MSG conversation, I think too, like he felt comfy kind of like giving it to her straight. And he is a straight shooter in general, but they truly understand like how racism works and the subtleties. And it wasn't like any kind of over explaining that he had to do. And I think that's something that you run into. People don't want to talk about that. When I watch like a very regular cooking show, like no one addresses those topics, And so in this casual setting, not that casual, but kind of like a more casual, like you said, they're not going like line by line with the recipe. They can, you know, just put out in the open and say, "Yo, that was like it's just bouillon, but it was racist." I remember that. I think it's an age thing too, a little bit, because I remember ordering Chinese food and saying no MSG. It was a total unlocked memory for me of everyone being like, "Oh, make sure you say that. That'll make you sick." And I'm like, "Oh my, okay." As a kid, and this is adults telling me this, right? Make sure you say no MSG. And I remember now people use it all the time as
Yep.
a seasoning constantly. So yeah, that was interesting. I was like, damn, now I remember that. Yeah, it was a big anti MSG movement going on. Like everyone was hearing the same shit across America. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I can't wait to see like the rest of them. I'm not sure if there's any what I should look forward to. I've gotten as far as like the salt fish. I do love that idea of cooking.
Yes. That was a good one as well.
Yeah, especially with someone who's like, I love that like one of the women, she's like, I don't cook at all. Like kind of making her do a little something that was I thought that was cool. And I had noticed her, I don't know, she's an actress. I don't know. I've seen her in some stuff, but yeah, and of course she's going to have international friends. Like she's lived everywhere. She has not stayed in California. She started in California. Those are her roots, and now she's back to her roots. After this crazy experience of being an actress, being an ambassador, being a royal, and now full circle right back to
Mhm.
California.
Mhm.
And like, girl, you don't have to explain yourself to anyone after what you've done, what you've built. Yeah, I think Archewell Foundation has raised like at least 1.2 million or more for charities. So like they are,
They're
I don't
doing
know.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that off of Harry too. I get like he's like cares. Like he's been part of the Invictus Games and all of that. Like I think he's like I think when you grow up with the silver spoon, you're just kind of like you're either gonna like lean into country club life and just be charitable like your predecessors, or you're like, what can I do? And I think they are in that like, what can we do
Yeah.
space? Because they rich and royal and shit. I'm like, she's a rich royal bitch. What do y'all?
Hey, what do you want from her? Like, can she live?
Can she live? She can't even go anywhere without security. They will kidnap those kids. They have to be very careful. And after seeing what they went through and on the world stage and their mom and stuff like that, like Harry is not taking any
Yeah.
chances. And I
Yeah.
love that. It's like cool. And that's how you want men to be protective. It was cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't wait to watch it. And listen, like I said before, keep hate watching because she got a season two.
She sure does. And can I tell you, I'm hoping that since people want to see more diverse friends. She's really good friends with Serena Williams, and I would love to see Serena do an episode.
Oh yeah, Serena, and I mean, Serena was crip walking what just a few weeks ago.
Exactly, exactly. See them. I want to see that dynamic. I hope Serena comes on season 2. I can't wait to see who else she brings on. But yeah, haters are gonna hate, but she got a season 2, so
Too, because yeah, all of this hoopla, the bad or the good PR or whatever, is been working for Netflix. It's making them money at the end of the day. I know that she went to Tyler Perry's house too when she was first trying to find refuge. So I hope he comes on, or maybe
Oprah. Yeah,
listen, she's got those high places. That's not even a joke. That's legitimately her life, and that's her life. Like we need to accept it and support her. Yeah, I think if she brings on, I think she should bring like the richest black people this world has ever seen on the show, since she's not black enough.
exactly, exactly.
Or even her mom. I think could be cool because I know some of these skills must come from mom. Like, I want to see Doria. I think that's like the mysterious part of the puzzle outside of the kids. Like, we don't need to see the kids. Kids need to be kids. But like, I'd love to see like in a dynamic with her mom.
Her mom did show up in the last episode. Not in the not in the kitchen though, but she hosts it's almost, I think it's like a some sort of party to celebrate the show, and she invites
Okay.
friends over. They do like a brunch party and her mom shows up to that. So that's really cute to see.
Okay. Well, okay. I already know what I'm going to do right after this is watch it because I'm like, man, I want to see her mom. So I just been like curious about that. I think she's very strategic in what she exposes like the public to, but I think she has to move that way.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm here for it. I can't wait to see season 2. Like,
I can't wait to see season 2 as well. And also people do need to give grace because a season 1 of any show is working out its kinks. I think now she has her style, she has her rhythm because after episode 3, all the episodes kind of are so much better than the first 2.
yeah, yeah. It's like this is her. It's Yeah, it's reality a bit. So it's not Suits. She doesn't have a script.
Right.
Um, what I didn't watch Suits, but from what I hear, she was good on it. I think she was on Suits. I mean, you can't be bad and be on a show for 7 years, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little bit, putting on a show a little bit, but I think it being kind of reality scripted is a little different and new to her because people are like, oh, she seems uncomfortable. I'm like, she's not. She was on a show. She's an actress. Okay. But yeah, no, I look forward to that. Yeah, like, oh, Megan, man. I don't know. But also, too, I know I got to get my Spades game together.
Oh, I'm excited.
I know. Let's tell them what this is. This is one of the so LA is a place we were talking about communities. LA is a place where you have to look for it. The first time you were on, you were telling us how communities are you can just fall into community in New York. It's so easy. Same in Chicago. Like wherever you're
Mhm.
living, if you're in Philly, you have community. Wherever you are, Bronzeville, whatever, you have community automatically. That's not the case in LA. You have to kind of, so many I hear from so many black people that moved there. They're like, oh, I moved there and I never saw myself. And I'm like, well, it takes time to find your people when it's a driving city, it's sprawling. And it's called Love and
Peace,
Spades.
love, and spades.
Peace, love, and spades, y'all. And it's such a cool concept. I don't know about y'all, but like no one ever sat me down to teach me spades. But then everywhere I went, black people were playing spades. And then if you're a beginner, you cannot sit down at these tables. You just cannot because spades is like telepathy in the black culture. Like you and your partner, you know how to strategize. You've been playing together for years and don't make any mistakes. Mistakes are taken
Very
very
serious. Yes.
seriously.
People flip
How did you
tables. People flip tables over mistakes like that.
totally? Did you have someone like actually teach you, or did you kind of like? How did you learn?
I learned I used to play a lot of I can't even say it. I used to play a lot of spades in Brooklyn, in
Okay.
Crown Heights. I don't know. I don't remember if I learned there, but that's definitely where I mastered my gameplay because those people really were spades heads. Like there was a lot of cursing, there was a lot of drinking, there was a lot of like you really had to be on
Yeah.
your A game.
Yeah.
And then my friend, she sent me the flyer for Peace, Love, and Spades in LA, and I went, and it was so fun. It was so fun. The crowd is beautiful. They have a DJ. There's, all levels can play, which is nice. Like so now I'm in. I'm in. I'm trying to be there as often as possible.
Yeah, it's usually on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I think it's April 2nd
Mhm.
if you guys are listening to this and have time to go. I think it's also donation only.
Mhm.
You donate what you want. You tell them your skill level. You can even name your team something funny.
Yep.
Um, I think our team, when we were going to be a team, me and my guy, hi Jeremy. Um, at the time, because of the election, we were like from the window to the walls for Tim Walls, but I don't think things worked out for us. I had a lot of, I did appreciate it. It's like also it's giving cookout vibe a little bit because it's not like super young or super old. It's all ages, all genders as well. And Uncle Nearest was the sponsor last time. We know that's like the most successful black owned whiskey. Um, but yeah, they were pouring heavy. So I think I'm gonna skip the Uncle Nearest this time. Go to the beginner's table with my wine and get focused. Guys, there's apps. I know that like maybe you had a brother. I know I did that didn't want to teach you because they wanted to gamble or whatever, but there are ways out there to get your game up. It's never too late. And that's a big part of the community. You know what's so funny about that too is Peace, Love, and Spades is at the Line Hotel, which Roy Choi used to be their head chef, like did all their menus.
I didn't know that, but I mean, that makes sense because it's in K
Yeah,
Town and he literally is like the king of K Town.
he is the king of K Town. And the upstairs, it used to be called Commissary. It's actually in an episode of
Yep.
Insecure
Yep.
when they go to brunch, but it's not Commissary anymore. And ever since Roy Choi hasn't been the food and beverage guy or whatever, it's been different because they had a huevos rancheros, but like Korean style.
Mm,
It was insane. It was like he put a lot of love in it and it was like a family recipe or something. I think it was named after someone in his family, but I say all that to say that you can find your people. You just have to work at it. You just have to drive there. You have to make a plan. So I'm glad we have a plan and I can't wait to get a couple of books. Use the little joker and the big joker.
yes. Yes.
There's a little something I want to practice on the app over the next couple of days, but I'll see you there.
Yes. I'm very excited.
Well, it's always great to have you on the show. I appreciate your thoughts, your critical thinking, your positivity, and your community that you bring to You Have to Wear Something. I've just got some branded
I was going to
t-shirts.
say, I love the shirt. I love the merch.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet. That's my cover art, but um, I don't know. They came out well. It's kind of a test that I'm doing so that I could discuss it when I'm getting my overpriced coffee. And let's see. I don't know. I've never. I'm like, why would somebody want my merch? But maybe they do. So maybe I'll put one or two on Shop
We
and Go.
want your
See what
merch, Nicole.
happens. Okay. Thank you so much. And of course, until next time we speak. Peace.
Hey, thank you.
Mhm.